All right. So good night again. And let's get straight to the markets this week. Right, like I said, we have some amazing setups for this upcoming week, especially with the euros, right? I believe this week the euros will start us off again. Just like last week, I think the first trade that we took that hit 100 pips was USD Cad. So we had a beautiful start to last week. Although during the week, you know, we had, you know, some choppy price movement, we were still able to catch 100 pips on USD Cad. And then we caught 100 pips on GBP USD, right? So let's see what the market has for this week. Starting with the DXY. So the DXY, guys, is on an uptrend, right? We have an ascending channel here, and my view on it is for the DXY to continue going up. Now remember, the DXY is the dollar index, so it pretty much tells you what's happening with the US dollar, right? So if you can get an idea of what's happening with the US dollar itself, then it tells you what's gonna happen with Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD, and NZ USD. Those four pairs run opposite to the DXY. So when we start to look at EU, GU, AU, and NU, you know that we're looking for the move to be opposite to the DXY, right? When we look at USDCHF, USD Cad, and USDJPY, those three pairs run along with the DXY. So it's the same price movement basically. So if the DXY is going up, UCAD, USHF, and UJ are likely to go up as well. If the DXY is going down, UCAD, USHF, and USDJPY likely to go down as well, right? So basically EU, GU, AU, and NU run opposite to UCAD, USHF, and UJ. All right, so that's just to give you, those who may not know that, that's just to give you some type of level of understanding as to what it is. We look at the DXY first, right? All right, so what happened last week? First of all, to break it down really simple, we have structure here, right? So the market came here again, rejected, came here again, rejected, right? Now this is structure. Structure, for some persons, will also be known as resistance or support, supply and demand, depending on how you're looking at it as well, right? But for the purposes of this class and for this Zoom, I refer to it as structure. So just to give you guys an understanding of why, what I mean by structure exactly. Right? So structure was broken here on the DXY. Right? So structure was broken to the upside. Now last week in Tuesday's class, when I broke down structure to you guys, I mentioned that the market repeats a cycle, all right? So you have three things basically that repeats themselves, right? So the first thing that happens is that you look for a break of structure. So you look for structure to break to the upside or break to the downside, right? Once you get the breakout, The second thing that happens is that you are looking for a retest, right? So the first thing is a breakout. The second thing is a retest. So wherever structure broke, look for the market to come back to that area to retest it. And then finally, once the market has retested that area, look for the market to continue its journey to whichever direction it broke out of. So for example, if you're looking here at the DXY, structure broke to the upside, right? That's the first thing. The second thing is that we look for a retest of the structure. So we're looking for price to come back and retest structure, right? Once we get that retest, we're looking for a continuation to the upside. And guys, as simple as that may sound, that is basically the strategy. Very, very simple, right? And you would recognize once you can identify structure, it makes your life a lot easier, especially when it comes to trading. So it's just a matter of you mastering structure. That's the fundamental part of this. That's the thing that is going to help you make a lot of money in this market, is understanding structure. Once you can understand where structure is, it's just a matter of patience now. Wait for structure to break, wait for it to be retested, and then you can get in to take your trade to the upside here, right? So we have the breakout. We're waiting for a retest. So you can see that I have my trend line coming down here to show that basically an arrow that I am looking for the DXY to retest structure and then continue to the upside, right? So this is my analysis on the DXY, right? So on the DXY, I'm basically looking for it to drop, to retest structure, and then continue to the upside. So what does that mean for the majors that we're going to look at now, the other pairs? I mentioned at the beginning of this class that some pairs move opposite to the DXY, while others move together with the DXY. So if we're looking for the DXY to drop first and then continue to push up, means that for EU, GU, AU, and NU, we're looking for those to go up first and then continue to drop to the downside. So they are just going to do the opposite to what I have the DXY to do. Right? That's basically it, guys. So this is the DXY. So we have this. So just make sure that you guys understand my analysis on this. I expecting the DXY to actually come back up really and truly to the top of this channel, but more so between let's carry up to the daily. All right. Now, I have a note there for you guys as well. So the same thing that I said earlier, this is it here. So I have the DXY basically to come up between 95.385 and 95.722, right? Which is that area of imbalance. So let's look at Euro USD. Right? So Euro USD, what we have here is we have structure, right? We have structure. So for those who don't understand how to get structure or how to look for structure or identify structure, right? Again, it's just a simple thing of you looking at the MACD. The MACD is going to tell you the high and the low in the market. So the MACD, if you look at this green histogram here, it's giving you the last high, which is here. Right? So you just have to align your mouse with the MACD, with that green histogram down there. And then you're going to align your mouse with the red histogram to give you the low. So when the market is in the red, you know that when the market is in the red, you know that that's the low. And when the market is in the green, you know that that's the high. So that's basically how we identify structure, right? It, you know, it's, you don't have to look to see how many touches you had here and all of that. It's very simple. Look at the MACD, and the MACD is going to tell you the high and the low on that time frame, right? Which is what we have here. So I have the high and the low, which gave me structure. So once you identify structure, it's just a matter of you seeing whether structure has break to the upside or whether it brought to the downside. So it's whether it brought to the upside or it brought to the downside, right? And in this case, structure brought to the downside, right? So we could see that the lows were broken. So remember the cycle that I told you guys about, right? Once structure is broken, we're looking for a retest. Where is the retest gonna happen? Back at structure. So once you identify structure, you know that the market more or less is gonna come back to structure to retest it and then continue to the downside. So if I am looking for a move on Euro USD, I am looking basically for EU to come back and retest structure before it continues its move to the downside. Right? So this is my analysis on EU, right? For this week, I want to see EU make its way back up to structure here, give me a nice retest, and then I will take it to the downside. So I'm gonna monitor Euro USD for this week to see, you know, how we get back up to here, to this area, which is 1.15304. And then once we get here, I'll be willing to take it to the downside. All right, that's EU. GU, same thing, right? So I identify structure, as you could see, right? On GU, this is the high, this is the low, right? So I basically have GU to come back up to retest structure, but I believe in this case, this is when it gets a bit technical, right? But I believe it's gonna come back into the zone a bit before it continues its way down. Why? First of all, we have a downtrend here happening. So everybody can see the trend line that I placed on my chart, right? So we have a downtrend here happening, right? And then on top of that, yes, I know. The reason I am on the 2-hour time frame is because when I go to 1-hour time frame, I can't see everything, and then the candles get really small there. All right, so you can't see the candles. So the reason I just went to a time frame is so that you can see the entire downtrend and you can see the candles. So it's clear. That's why I've gone up to that. Yeah. Right. So in this case, like you guys can see here, I have a downtrend that I would have identified. So every time the market came up to this trend line, it basically respected it and continued its way down. So I'm kind of looking for that again. This toss, I am looking for the market to basically give me a false breakout back up to this area that I identified and then continue its way down. Right? Not going to explain imbalanced candles right now as to how I know or why I expect the market to come out here. I will do that on Tuesday. No, I just want you guys to understand where I expect the market to go. Take notes, take pictures, screenshot if you must, so that you can market your charts and prepare yourself for the weekly outlook as well. Right, so this is my analysis on GU. My analysis on AU. Right, I did these markups on Friday. As soon as the market closed, I jumped right in and marked up my charts. Right, so my analysis on AU is, if you look here, I identified structure. So let me just remove the other lines. Right, so this is the high, this is the low. Price broke out of structure, right? And I'm looking for price to come back up into this zone and give me a retest, and for us to continue to the downside. Right, so just looking for price to continue to the downside. Right, so that's my analysis on AU, similar to EU and GU. We're just waiting for that retest, and then we're gonna catch a nice sell to the downside. All right, and ZUSD. And ZUSD, similar situation. Looking for price to come back up to here, structure, and then continue to the downside. Right, so just waiting for price to come up to here, and then we're looking for that sell. So these are setting up nicely for the week. I would say around Tuesday or Wednesday, price should be back up to here, and then we can look to take our sell. Right, but keep your eyes on those pairs. USDCHF. No, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of USDCHF. Right, it is a nice setup. I probably won't take it, I'm gonna be honest, but that's my personal opinion because of how I feel about it. But still, as much as I feel that way, it is a very nice setup, and I'm gonna share it with you guys. Right, so we had USDCHF breaking structure on the 1 hour time frame. If you look here, you will see that structure was broken on the 1 hour time frame. So we had a breakout, right? The next step is the retest, and you can see right now we are actually starting that retest. So the retest is on its way. You guys can look for entry once we get into this zone here, right? So this is going to be a nice move to the upside. Right, so once price retests here, you can look to take the buy back up, right? And definitely looking for it to come up to 93,130. All right, so this is actually a pretty nice setup here. Definitely. All right, so USD Cad. Right, so last week, sorry about that, USD Cad broke structure to the upside. Now, initially, for those who remembered my analysis from last week, I was looking for USD Cad to come up to here as a retest and then continue to the downside. But like I always say to you guys, it's always good to feel confident and not guess. Don't guess or try to predict. Let the market tell you exactly what it wants to do. let it show you exactly what it wants to do, right? So yes, you may have an idea in mind in terms of where you think it would go or where you would like it to go, right? But let the market show you that it's actually going to do that. So that is why it is important for you to wait for confirmations, right? And when the market came back up to this high, I noticed it broke structure. And from the time I saw that, I knew, well, okay, we're going to continue to the upside, right? Because the market repeats the cycle. Break structure, retest, continue, right? So I'm looking for the market to retest here and then for us to continue up. Right? So this should be a really nice play as well, to be honest. Very, very nice play. All right, let's look at USDJPY. Okay. Drop UJ another way. I think I have it here. Ah, I do. All right. Okay. So UJ. I entered UJ last week here, right? Because I had the market to come back up and test this zone and then continue to drop, right? What I was looking for is for the market to come back up to here to give you guys an entry on USDJPY. All right. At the moment, price is still pushing down. So I will see if we can get price, if I can get price coming up to here, right in this zone, right? So around the same 114, 156. So if I could get price coming up to 114 with 156, like tomorrow during New York session, I definitely will send out that signal for you guys, right? Because this is a nice sell to the downside. So this is my entry, right? 114, 156. My stop loss, 114,377, right? And you can take UJ to the downside. That's providing it comes back up to this area. So I will keep my eyes on this so that we can potentially get a setup on UJ to start the week. All right. Gold. Oh boy. No, I think I did my analysis on this one. All right. So gold. What am I expecting with gold? Iceberg. You see gold though. You can unmute. I want to hear your voice about gold. Don't send me LOL. You can unmute.
Yes, I'm here.
Ah, good night. How are you?
I'm good, and you?
I'm good as well.
Right.
You see gold?
Yes, I do.
Okay, I'm just checking to make sure that you're seeing what I'm seeing.
Okay.
Well, what's your projection on it?
Well, I see dropping a bit more to that structure down there on the 1 hour.
This one here?
Yeah, not level down there.
Okay. All right. That's good. So right? Projection on gold. First of all, let's look at it on a bigger picture, right? So last week, Sunday, I told you guys here that gold broke structure. But at the time, the breakout was weak, right? So this is where it was at that point in time. And I told you guys, okay, it broke structure, but the breakout is weak. So I wasn't saying that it would, you know, go back into this zone, but for me to confirm a breakout, and I want you guys to really understand this as well, a breakout is usually strong. When you see structure is broken to any direction, up or down, it should be a strong breakout. Like the market should be pushing and pushing and pushing, right? A breakout is not going to be weak. If you see a weak breakout, expect the market to fake it out and come right back inside the zone, right? So your breakouts should be strong and they should hold above. And most importantly, they should move away from structure, right? So it should continue going away from structure. So this is a very good example here. Sunday, I told you guys, gold broke structure, but it was a weak breakout. So before we plan for gold, in terms of getting in on retest for the buy, etc., I told you guys to allow gold to show you if it's going to continue to push to the upside to confirm a strong breakout before we plan for the retest. All right? And that's exactly what happened. So gold continued to push. We didn't have a retest at all during the week, right? So what I am actually looking for now is for gold to drop, and really and truly, I have structure to be retested. Right? This is structure here. Right? If you look, this is structure. Structure broke here. So I'm looking for gold to eventually come back down to 1809 to retest there and then continue to the upside. Right? So if you guys want to counter trend trade and look to sell gold, because right now there's no opportunity with gold at present. Right? So if you guys want to look to sell gold, what I would be looking for is for structure here to break, retest, and then continue for that drop. Right? So I have it here. So I would need structure here to break, retest it, and then you can look to get in for that drop. So gold breaking the trend line that I currently have is not enough confirmation. You need the trend line to break as well as structure. And then you can look to get in for your sell. We're gonna wait for that break, retest, get in for your sell here, and then you can go back down to 1809. Okay? Right? Alternatively, that's for the counter trend. If you want to trade with the trend, don't worry about this move. This is the retest that we're looking for to happen. Right? This is the retest. So if you want to trade with the trend, that's fine. Let all of this happen, which is the retest. And when price comes back to structure, you can then look for your entries to the upside. All right. So basically when price comes back here, I am looking for it to push back up. Okay. So that's my analysis on gold. So nothing right now. Let this structure break, get the retest. You can sell, or you can wait for this complete retest to form, and then you can get in here for the continuation to the upside. Okay. All right. You're odd. Okay. So you're odd. We should be able to get a trade tomorrow morning, but I'll keep you guys posted in the chat about that. What I had here was structure break into the downside, right? So this is structure. Brought here, right? So I'm looking for a price to retest, and then we're gonna catch the sell to the downside. All right, so let me just prepare that now with the imbalance. All right, so I'm gonna give you guys the zone. All right, that's the zone there. Position. No, before you guys take this sell, right? Right, before you guys take this sell, when it comes back up into this zone, once price is in this zone, please make sure that the MACD has also crossed over to the green histogram. Okay, so an example of that is, let's say that this is the cell that I was looking at here. You see how the MACD crossed back over to the green? So as soon as the MACD crossed over, you could have been getting in for your sell position. So anything from here, right? You could have been getting in for your sell. So I am looking for the same thing to happen here first before I get in for myself. So once price comes back up to here, let the MACD cross over to the green histogram. Let the signal line actually cross over to the green histogram, similar to here. Right there, same exact thing you want happen here. Okay, so that's the move with your odd. Because I don't want price come out here tomorrow and histogram is still red and you guys just hop and get into that sell. Right? Make sure the confirmations are met. So I'm gonna just put a little note here. Right? Okay. So let the MACD cross over for the retest. Then you could jump in for the sell. All right. So I like your odd. All right. Your CAD. Okay. So look at this. What can you see? Consolidation. Price bouncing in between this zone, right? So real simple, very simple instruction. wait for price to break out of structure, either to the upside or to the downside. Until then, I'm not interested in USDCAD. So price has to break out first, either to the upside or the downside. You don't have to predict, all right? You don't have to predict. Let the market show you exactly what it's going to do. Remember what the breakout looks like. Remember how to identify the breakout, right? The breakout should be a strong push in either direction. Price should move far away from structure. And then you wait for that retest, and then you can continue the journey, right? If the breakout is weak, forget it. Good. So that's my analysis on USDCAD. Wait for structure to break. Okay, USD, I really love this to start the week with, right? So USD, already start. Oh no, not yet. Wait. Okay. USD, I let USD for the push to the upside, right? As you guys can see. So I have it to come back up to here. Now, really looking to give you guys this setup tomorrow morning, right? So let me see if I can get this coming to here to my entry and then continue it up, because we already have the retest on the 1 hour time frame, so that's already done, right? What I want to see is if my entry, because my entry is 162.268. So let me see if I can get price come down into here to my imbalance zone some more. All right, touch this area, and then I'm gonna tell you to buy your NZD, and that should happen tomorrow during London. All right, so I really love this setup as well. Nice move to the upside. All right, many pips. You don't even have to take all. It's back up to here is 300 pips, 350 pips. You could just take 100 and you're good. All right, 100 pips and you're good. All right, so I'm gonna wait for that setup. Definitely will keep you guys posted on that. Euro NZD, sorry, Euro GBP now, the same thing, right? So Euro GBP, since 2 weeks ago, I kid you not, I set a buy limit order at 0.85095. I have not removed it as yet, right? So for the last 2 weeks, I watched Euro GBP, you know, come down, create a bearish flag, come down, went up, come down. I watched it. And I said to myself, I dare not move my buy limit order, because I expect price to come into the zone and retest this imbalance zone. One thing you don't want to do is to run behind price. Let it come to you. Should it not come to you, mark up the charts again, look for new opportunity. Do not run behind price. Let it come to you. All right. So this is my entry. I am waiting. If it doesn't activate, I'll leave it alone. Right. So once it activates, I'm going to give you guys this signal to take as well. Right. But this should be a pretty nice setup. Back up to the upside is about 100 pips. Yep, correct. Right. So once we get in, this is 100 pips back up. Right. So hopefully we're able to get into this potentially tomorrow. Right. we should be able to get into that. All right, we're nearly there. Over to the GBPs. Okay. So GBP JPY price basically in consolidation, right? So I've identified structure. Now, this is a fantastic example here, right? Now, first of all, we know that we have to wait for price to break out of structure before we plan for GG. Okay? Did we get a breakout? For me, the answer is no, right? Now, this is what I mean by a weak breakout. Look at this, right? This is a weak breakout, right? Price should be no way around structure when it breaks. It should continue falling. So if this was really true, price would have kept falling for quite some time before it turned around and gave us a retest. So this is a weak breakout, guys. So you get to see it now. Right? So my analysis on GJ, wait for structure to break. Either to the upside or the downside. Wait for a strong breakout. All right. So nothing on GJ right now. GA. Now, I'm going to show you what I originally had for GA to do. Right? Originally, I wanted to get into GA last week. And I identified my imbalance candle, which was here. So I was looking for price to form this flag, come into the imbalance zone, and then sell. And it didn't. Neither did it chase price. So I'm just letting it do its thing. Don't chase price. All right, this is a valid example. Do not do it. Okay. So my analysis on GA right now is this. So I'm looking for price to come and test these lows and then push back up to the upside, back into my same imbalance zone. So the imbalance zone that I was originally looking for that sell, I have price to come into that zone and potentially retest it and push again to the downside. Right, so I have nothing on GA right now that I'm interested in. I am not particularly sure if I'm interested in this buy. When price gets here, I will see if it looks good and attractive. If not, I definitely will more be interested in this sell. Right, but this is a nice imbalance zone too. Right, this is. So when price comes here, depending on the MACD and if it looks attractive, I would decide whether or not I want to get into GA for this buy. And this is still a nice move up. There's 145 bits up. All right. We're nearly there, guys. Okay, so for GCHF, I'm going to wait for structure to break. Right? Don't have anything like this. Other than that, I do. Right. no, I really want to wait for structure to break. However, this is not a bad setup here. Let's change the narrative a bit. Right? No. GSHF, it's not really that attractive right now on the 1 hour time frame. On the 4 hour time frame, it's not a bad setup. What I did on the other broker was that I bought same price. Right? And I said to myself to be on the safe side because it didn't like the 1 hour, but the 4 hour was not a bad setup. I said, you know what? I'm gonna wait for structure to break. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. Right? I'm gonna wait for structure to break. Why? Again, right? If anybody watched my video last week, I also mentioned to you guys that GSHF is currently in its retest. Right? So GSHF broke structure. You guys know, you know the cycle. Structure was broken here, right? So you see structure failed to break here, 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 and then we had the breakout there. All right. Did the market retest at the time? No, it continued to go, and then it started its descent, right? So now we're coming into that retest zone. So this is why I prefer to wait for the breakout, right? Because right now we basically in that zone. So I don't want to be too risky here. I prefer the market to tell me exactly what it's going to do and give me confirmation for it. So that is why. So I'll leave GSHF alone. GBP NZD. All right. No. This is far away, but I had a breakout to the downside here. So structure was broken here. Everybody can see that, right? And it never retested that zone. So I'm gonna wait to see if we could get a retest there and a continuation to the downside. All right. But for now, I am not interested in GN. And then finally, Gbp Cad. Right? Gbp Cad. Come on, Lord. That market doesn't want to load. Okay. So GCAD, similar thing to GN. Waiting for it to retest this zone. Let me actually mark it out for you. Here. So waiting for retest in this imbalance zone and then continuation to the downside. Right? And that is basically it. So my favorites for this week is NZ USD, USDCHF, although I'm not a big fan of USDCHF and trading it. USD Cad, Euro Odd, Euro NZD, and Euro GBP, right? So you guys can look at those. NZ USD, USDCHF, USD Cad, Euro odd, Euro NZD, and Euro GBP. All right. So guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Hopefully you've come away with something. You've learned something. You have a setup for this week based on all of the pairs that I would have went through, so that you can catch a few pips. There are a couple of setups that are going to give you 100 pips this week. So if you watch the market, set your alerts, plan for your trades, you should be able to come out to at least 2 of those setups with 100 pips each. All right.